This is something of a new kind of video for me. So in this video I will be explaining the technique that I created for Necromancer called Phantom Sacrifice, along with a couple of its variants, the drawbacks of it, the problem it's intended to solve, all that stuff. Okay? Part of this is going to be me explaining a lot of why it exists, which is kind of interesting, but you know, we'll see when we get there. You're going to have to work with me here. I've never done this kind of thing before. Well, anyway, without further ado, let's get right into it. I created Phantom Sacrifice with the intention of actually fighting Seb's Phoenix, and it was created with the intention of making guaranteed sacrifice damage on elements that are very hard to stay next to a lot easier. Specifically, my idea was to create a way of getting roughly 10,000 damage guaranteed every sacrifice while keeping yourself safe. And Phantom Sacrifice does this through abusing lingering hitboxes. Essentially, there are some things in the game with areas of effects that last a lot longer than you would think they do based on their visuals. Sacrifice explosions are one of these, as is Soul Snare. Soul Snare isn't used that way for this tech, but it is another example that I can show you. There are two problems with normal sacrifice. The first is that it's sort of slow when it deals its damage. It's not monstrously slow, but it takes around 4 seconds to fully finish and requires your opponent to stay there, which is part of the second point. It is fairly easily escapable, even with Snare in a lot of cases, and if they do, it doesn't deal a lot of damage. Phantom Sac, however, deals with both of these problems at once. By moving backwards during the start of sacrifice and pulling someone through the remnants of it, it hits them with all of these little explosions all at once, causing the damage done to be near instant. Now, what kind of neato video would it be if it was just that simple and there weren't any variations in this tech? Well, there are a few, and I will state each version, their positives, their negatives, and potential uses right here, right now. Ready? First is the original, the safe version, which is executed by walking straight backwards, not going anywhere else, using sacrifice, and pulling your opponent through the end of it. This will, at the cost of a lot of potential damage, it usually does roughly 12,000 damage, deal that damage near instantly, and allow you to be far enough away at the end to be generally safe. The second variant, the one that I showed before, I have yet to name, but we'll call it version 2 for this. It is executed by walking backwards, using sacrifice, pulling the person through the start of sacrifice, and then walking back over them, causing all of the other meteors to hit them. The drawbacks of this one is it's far less safe, but it does more consistently high damage in the 25 to 30,000 range. And it does the first half of its damage near instantly. The third subvariant that I have to share today is called Stack Sac, or Stack Sacrifice. This version is a little bit trickier to understand, and I don't have a good demonstration of it today, but it is the fastest killer of the three. That is its thing. It does roughly 28,000 damage when done at full stacks, and is executed by walking backwards, stutter stepping forward in the directions of the first couple meteors, then using Snare to pull them through a bunch of really closely grouped meteors. I'll show a version of it from someone else's perspective here in a second. There is one more version of the tech I would like to shine light on, and it is one of the first versions. And it is using knockback from your enemy to create that space required for this tech to work, for you to pull them through sacrifice. In this example, I have Phoenix doing this. And as you can see, this is enough to pop their revive almost instantly if you have a full stack sacrifice on them. It is very, very effective. One last thing, I'd like to thank everybody who had a hand in helping me make this video. Deoxii, 4257 Bella, DragonEmperor, and Seb for footage. Seb for creating StackSack as a variant and helping me develop the entire tech, really. He was there for basically all of it. And then anyone else who was in this 3v3 that I've been playing in the background. Yeah, everybody, thank you so much for watching. If you could leave a like and subscribe, that'd be greatly appreciated. If you want to check out my other videos, go ahead and do that. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I'm more than happy to answer. There is a lot of information that wasn't included here about this tech because it would just be very, very dense and it's more complicated than needs to be in the video. But, you know, hit me up and then I can answer questions. Anyway, I will see everybody next time.